What is up, fellow nerds, and welcome to Not Your Status Quo. Tonight, Doug and I will be talking about episodes 4 through 6 of Season 1 of Solo Leveling. But before we get into all of that, Doug, how's it going today, sir?
Well, Keith, let me tell you, I am outstanding now that I've had a little bit of a rest. You know what happens when you start to get old, all of you fine folks out there watching us on online, little things like bending the wrong way or sneezing too hard make your body hurt. So that's what you get to look forward to if you're under the age of 40, I suppose.
As
I
a little bit older than 40, yes, I am familiar with that fun.
messed up my back in the shower. I'm just like, how? How does it? It was, it painful, but it was more funny than anything else because I'm just like, how does this even happen?
You're like, how does this happen? Oh, stop
Right.
laughing about that.
Like, let me get the ice pack. Okay.
Is the heating pad still working?
But pretty good day. And I gotta tell you, it's been fun rewatching Solo Leveling because I did watch season two when it came out, and it's been a it's been a minute since I've watched season one, and there's a lot of just like the flow of everything. I kind of forgot how it all went. So this is fun. I'm glad that we're getting the opportunity to take a look at the episodes and review them.
Me too.
But before we get into that, Keith, I know that I want to know, and the world out there is just demanding. They're screaming from on high, saying, "Keith, how are you doing?"
Well, let me yell it loud enough for them all to hear. I am tremendous! I always, whenever you talk about mountaintops, it bugs me that every time I'm like standing on a mountaintop holding a sword out and it's getting struck by lightning,
Every time.
some jerk is like trying to paint me. I mean, find something else to do, people. I'm enjoying myself.
Well, at least they're only trying to paint you. I've got all these Highlanders coming after me, thinking that they want to be the one. I mean, it's insane, man. I'm not even trying to be a Highlander. I
There
just like
can
to go up
only,
to mountains with my sword.
there can only be one.
They hear my name, McLean, and all of a sudden they're
And for those of you out there wondering, where is Dave? Why isn't Dave with you guys tonight? I don't think I'm going to watch if Dave's not on. He is actually writing season 11 of Smallville as we speak.
somebody save me. Honestly, that wouldn't be a bad idea. I think a lot of people would actually enjoy seeing that. I mean, I know it'd probably be around in the same realm of, Superman and Lois, but I think it'd be fun to like, do a sequel series to Smallville and just call it like Metropolis and have all the same actors and actresses come back. Well, not all of them. I assume at least one probably shouldn't.
Might not have Chloe in the new series. I
Right.
get what you're saying. Yeah, yeah. Don't know
But yeah,
why.
bring everybody back. I think that'd be fun.
That would be. There's a show that my wife and I watch, Murders in a Small Town, I think it's called, and Kristen Kruk's on it.
Really?
Yeah.
Very
My
cool.
wife likes murder shows. Sometimes that worries me.
Well, you haven't seen her taking notes during them, have you?
Occasionally. She was watching one
Oh.
show. What was it called again? How to Get Away with Murder. And she was just furiously typing or writing away. So I don't know what's going on.
Well, this will give me a 3-day head start.
Make sure you take his phone and text his friends occasionally after the murder so they can't pinpoint the exact death date. Turn off GPS, throw it in a lake. But, Doug, should we talk a little solo leveling?
No.
Okay, so we got some news and rumors.
Yes, we should definitely talk solo leveling.
Excellent. And we did watch episodes 4 through I'm on the wrong. No, I'm on the right.
4,
thing.
5,
Yep.
6.
4, 5, and 6, which is I've got to get stronger. A pretty good deal, and the real hunt begins. And with the big cliffhanger from episode 3, Jinwoo successfully kills that wolf, and he gains a level, and he powers up a little
Killed
bit.
several wolves.
Well, yeah. Then he killed the first one, and then he started just killing as many as he could. How's it going, buddy?
I do like that they're using these different fights and these
Don't walk away
battles
with
and
that,
these
bro.
episodes to do both character development and world building because we're new to this whole premise. He's new to the idea of being the only hunter that can level up. So it's actually I think it helps for people coming into the series to be able to hear him asking the questions that they're probably asking themselves. And he's looking at his screen. It's already been established from the first 3 episodes that we reviewed that he's not much of a gamer. He even had to ask his sister, what do you call this screen? Where do my notifications go?"
Don't worry, everyone. I will entertain you.
Doug's doing a good enough job.
So yeah, I like the fact that he's actually bringing up his status screen. He says, "Oh hey, I leveled up." And then he also, as he's fighting these monsters, he finds out, oh, I have access to a store, an online store. And so he's breaking down what he's referring to as the system. Yeah, he's explaining to all of us, the audience, exactly what it is, what it can do, and now his new capabilities that really sets him apart from other hunters. And I like that. I like that little addition to it. And he's actually, you can see, like, I know we were teasing, we were kind of poking fun in our last review when we were saying, like, oh man, I can't believe he's putting all of his points into strength. And, it worked out in his favor at least this time.
And I think we've all, as rookie video gamers, sometimes when you level up and you don't quite understand the leveling system, you might make rookie mistakes like that. Like you said, it didn't cost him this time. But we do see by the end of the 3rd episode, he's like, oh, maybe I'll put, or the 2nd, one of the episodes, he's like, I'm going to put some I might need some agility. I can hit really hard.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the 3rd episode. Beginning of the 6th episode.
3rd episode we watched. I knew what you meant.
Right.
But
Good. At least somebody understands me.
He's, like you said, he's starting to kill more wolves, and he's starting to figure it out, and he's like, well, I do have that teleportation stone now, so I could get out of here, but when am I going to get another chance to maybe level up like this? And I'm just like, yep, gamers definitely wrote this show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So he...
Also, speaking of, not to jump ahead, but speaking of when he does decide to put points elsewhere, he mentions that, oh, well, I don't really have any way to test whether it's working or not. The only thing that I know for sure is strength, but I would argue that the fact that he's thinking this through, that tells me that the points that have gone to his intelligence are taking effect, whether he realizes it or not.
I would agree 100%, good sir. That's an excellent point. But, he's leveling up, he's killing those wolves, he's getting money, gold pieces or whatever in a game. Not that they're probably worth anything outside. I wish my money in video games went outside, but they don't.
I know.
And he's figuring stuff out. It was cool. And he's like, oh, those goblins were white when I got here, so they must be the right level for me.
Text, right.
The wolves were red, so they're probably a little higher level. And of course, he gets to the final boss, and he's like, oh, please be white, please be white. And it's not white.
No.
But seeing him, his determination fighting that boss is just so much fun to watch. Because, when you're gaming, you're like, oh, because you always get put in those situations. Most video games, good video games, you're not just going to walk through destroying everything because you're too high a level. You're going to fight things that are probably a little difficult for you, to challenge you. And that's what he had. And, like most gamers, you'll be like, okay, you might lose a few times, and you're like, okay, I got to figure this out. What's his pattern? What am I doing here? What do I got to do? What tricks? And he was just like, I'm not going to fail. No way I'm going to do it. And he figured it out. And he ended up, beating it and going up, I think, 2 levels after he beat that boss, didn't he? Or was that the spider?
Actually, wasn't it by the end? Didn't he go up to... Shoot, I meant to write this down and I forgot, because I think by the time he left that dungeon, he was up to level 12 or something. Because I remember it was a big jump. He pointed out that he was at level 2, and then all of a sudden it was almost 10 levels higher or something like that.
Yeah. And then, of course, he beats the boss, so the dungeon ends. He's stuck in a. Did he just appear in the subway station? I was kind of thinking about that. When he's
No,
like,
there was a gate that he had went through.
no, but I
Oh,
know
you mean when he was done, when he defeated it?
Yeah,
Oh, I didn't even consider that.
because he was just
Yeah.
standing in the bottom, and it's like no one was there, and I was like, why isn't anybody there? Of course, we found out in a minute, but I'm like, he must just appeared right there. If other people were there, they probably would have been freaked out, or maybe not, because there's hunters and these gates opening up everywhere. So
Oh,
weird
true.
stuff like that probably didn't. But
Kind of like Superman, how we were commenting that like every time the city gets attacked, people are like, "Oh, well, that's happening again. A little early today." So yeah, maybe that just stuff like that happens so frequently that it doesn't even affect anyone anymore. They're like, "Oh, why not?" In fact, they actually mention something called a dungeon break where the monsters begin to come out. So something just kind of crawling out of the middle of nowhere. Yeah, that probably is totally normal for them.
yeah. Well, and we actually, when he gets out, the guy's like, hey, what are you doing here? It's supposed to be a lockup. Didn't you see on TV? And he's like, what? Then he says, oh, are you a hunter? Come this way. And of course, the dungeon, the monsters broke out because they didn't, no one defeated it within a certain amount of time. And a bunch of low-level Ds and stuff are fighting it. They can't break the stone golem, can't get it, boss. And his buddy, the girl,
She seems almost frozen in terror.
yeah, I thought I wrote her name down, and I don't think I did. Darn it. Oh, Juhi. She's like, they're like, come on, you're our most powerful healer. You got to help us. You got to. And she's like, oh yeah, don't worry. She starts to do the spell, and then she just sees that smiling face, and the PTSD just takes hold. She can't do it, and Jinwoo is kind of in the back, kind of watching what's going on, and he's just like, once again, probably the points to his intelligence. If I just throw this, I could probably break through his shield, and then these guys could finish him off because they've done enough work. And it's like, boom. And then,
Right, that the broken sword.
Yeah.
That's great.
And they just start piling on. They take him down and defeat him. But the tank guy at the front, who was, I think, a level D or C, I think a D maybe, was like, what's this? Where did this sword come from? That couldn't have been us. There's no way. He was smart enough to know, like, we were hitting it nonstop. We weren't doing anything. And all of a sudden the shields just dropped. That wasn't us. He sees the broken sword and he's like asking the one officer, do you know who's this was who threw this?
Yeah.
Some guy walking away. I don't know who he is.
Some dude. I don't know. What are you gonna do about it?
Some jerk. Wouldn't even stopped it.
That Jagoff, he's gone. I thought we were in Korea.
No, it's New York, Korea. Just like Space Boston. It's Korea, New York. So, But then the next episode, and I was kind of laughing because it didn't really have a cliffhanger in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, are they going to do that every episode? But they don't. But they do sometimes still. When the story goes more, needs to be longer, they definitely do it. When they have a good cliffhanger, they seem to do it. Because the next episode starts, and he's trying to figure out, how do I make more money with this, and what do I do? He doesn't want to draw attention to himself because he knows that the reawakening people get a lot of press, and it's a big deal. He doesn't want any part of that. Because then they'll start being, wow, you keep getting stronger. What's going on? But his fans at the hospital definitely have noticed he's getting more muscular. And, we get that. I love, he's so...
Oblivious.
That's a good word. I was going to say, like, oblivious is good. But she's like, oh, can I get your number? And he's like, oh, she probably wants to call and, like, make sure
Send me
everything's...
some test results. Yeah. It's like, do they do that? Is that just some random nurse call you? Right, so I got your blood results here. Thanks, your personal number, by the way.
She's been blushing while my shirt's off, and she probably just wants to send me some test results.
Right.
It'll probably just be a random number that it'll come from, not from her phone, of course. But he's trying to figure it out, and he decides to join with kind of a mercenary group that does dungeons. And there's 6 of them, and he's like, him and another guy who had sweet armor and a sweet sword and everything. They're like, well, we need 8 to do it, and, us 6 will take care of it. You guys don't have to help, but you'll get paid for all of this. And Jinwoo is kind of like leery of this. He's questioning them a little bit. And it builds up as they go, but man, these people were put to scum and scumbags.
Yes. They don't seem like it at first. They do seem like he even comments that, wow, they must have been working together for a while. They seem to be able to anticipate each other's moves when he's watching them fight and, make decisions. He can tell that they've all been working together quite a while. But I think that's what tips him off is he's doing the math and he's like, wait a minute, there's only like 6 of them and they needed 2 more, but they were looking for just any random people. They don't seem to have any substitutes that they regularly call on. And they mentioned that they do this all the time. Something just doesn't feel right.
And he's like, they don't have healers. And at first you don't get it, but then you kind of figure out, because if they had healers, they couldn't leave you for dead in the dungeon. Yep. So he kind of figures that out before it all happens. But, he's even his perception is, jumping up so much. They're all like, oh, they're here. But where are they? And he's like, up from above. And the leader guy's like, after the fight, he's like, how did you know that? Oh, just instinct. And he's like,
I like how that's just instincts. And he even says to the guy in all the shiny armor, I was Jinwoo? Jinho. Says to, you think I know their names by now. Shiny armor guy. says to him, he's like, I've been doing this for a while. I may be an E rank, but I know my stuff. And Jinho mentions like this is his very first raid, and to wish him good luck, his father gives him all this shiny armor. The other group, they pick up on this also pretty quick. They're sitting there thinking, man, we got to find out whose trust fund kid this is.
Yeah, when they do, they get after they defeat all the ants, and they kind of see other ants kind of destroyed throughout the dungeon, and they're like, okay, something big is in here. And well, of course, there's the boss in every level.
Out of them or something.
Yep. And they get into the boss's room, and there's all of those mana crystals, I believe they're called, and
yes.
A sleeping.
Which they mention again. This is a good way to sort of do a little bit of world building. They're explaining, yeah, these are mana crystals. They're not worth as much as starts with an E. What other kind of crystal was it? Not element crystal.
I forget.
Shoot. Cannot think of it now, but the other one that the monsters actually drop.
Yep.
They're worth less than them, but because they were in such abundance, they're like, oh yeah. And I keep going back and forth. I wasn't sure if they actually knew what to expect in this dungeon, like if they knew that those crystals were going to be there. Because they're acting surprised, and then they say, oh, we have to go out and get our mining gear. But then you find out, when they go to leave to get the mining gear, that was part of the plan to abandon these guys. So I don't know. I don't actually know if they knew those mana crystals were going to be there or not.
See, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, they had to know. But then I'm like, no, they must have a contingent plan. If the boss, if it's just the boss, they must either kill the boss and then kill them, or
that's what I was thinking.
Let the boss kill them. Be like, oh, we got to run and trip them or something. But there had to be a plan, unless they did know. There's a very good possibility, because it did seem pretty convenient. He's like, I told you to be ready for anything. Okay, hey, you guys stay here, and we'll walk out. Is that a good idea? Having us stay with the boss? It's sleeping. It filled up on all those ants. Don't question me, rookie. We'll be back. Just hold down the fort.
I like how they sort of juxtapose it with flashbacks, and they show, getting explained how not all of these guys can be trusted, and there's a lot of bad stuff that's going to happen out there, but there's never any proof, because as soon as you beat the boss, the gate closes. And if there aren't any witnesses, then a lot of crimes can happen inside these gates, and nobody will ever be any the wiser. Like, it's so hard to be able to track who did what inside of these things.
And, we do see at the end of episode 3 when they're explaining, yeah, they all died, but we got lucky and killed it. And she's like, oh, it must be the armor and stuff. Yeah, no worries. It doesn't seem like they really questioned, you guys got out and you shut it? Cool. we don't need any of the details.
Right.
Someone starts saying the details, they're like,
We don't want to know.
but, they're like waiting in there. And how does before, the one thing I wanted to mention too, Jinwoo is like, he's like, let me look at your contract for a minute. And he's like, hey, he gets a share of this or whatever, because these aren't battle drops. This is, loot. So, and the guy's like, oh, yeah, of course, no problem. And I was like, are you sure about that? And of course, we know, when they leave, they kind of block it all in. And of course, what woke up the
spider?
Yeah.
I want to say it was when they created the explosion to close it off.
Oh, it was. You're right. And I had a question for you. You don't have to answer this, but I shouldn't say a question, but that guild master that's training in this episode, they keep kind of going to him, and then in the third episode, he's training with a young kid.
Yep.
I'm starting to think that one of them is also playing the game. Like they're leveling up.
No, they're not.
Oh, okay. I was, because when the kid was done training in the third episode with the guildmaster, he's like, oh, you've done really good. Your defense is better. And I'm like, his defense is better, eh? Is he leveling some things up? But okay. I thought for sure one of them or both of them were going to have been, playing the game like Jinwoo is. Okay. Is he going to be, I wonder if the guildmaster is going to be like a battle for Jinwoo at the end of this season or something.
You will find out. It gets explained more in season 2.
Okay, cool. I figured as much. And of course, as the spider wakes up, Jinwoo prepares to kill the dungeon boss, and the episode ends.
Perfect cliffhanger once again.
Yes. And then,
just as you're on the edge of your seat. Now imagine if you got to wait a week for. No, how do they get out of this?
it would bother me, but then I could just rewatch the episode a few times to, get prepared for that next one, because they are really entertaining. It's a very fun show, especially for a gamer like me. It makes me want to play games. It's like, I should fire up my Xbox here real quick, play a little RPG before. No, I gotta work.
It's funny you mentioned that. It actually reminded me when I was a kid. This one game that I wanted so bad, and I finally wore my parents down and got them to get it for me. Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo. First RPG game that I'd ever played. Didn't know anything about them before, but I loved playing the game. I got through, so many different, got through like all the way towards the end, and then there was a secret final boss that you could get. You had to like perform all these different tasks, have this special item, and then you would be able to unlock this boss. And it was so hard. I kept losing trying to beat it. And so I got out a sheet of paper and I'm sitting here jotting down the amount of damage that I'm doing. This is before the internet, right? Before there's guides and everything. So I'm doing whatever I can trying to figure out, okay, what is the best plan of attack? What are my best party members to take this thing out? And then watching the show, it reminded me of that. I'm like, oh man, I remember, back when I would sit here and try and plan out a battle plan for an RPG game.
No, we used to. Tundra Walker was one of them. I grew up with Tundra Walker, and me, him, and his brother would play like Wizardry and Pool of Radiance, like D&D games on his Apple IIe when we were young. And we didn't have the internet to look up, hey, how do you get past this room?
Right.
And it would seriously be things like I would be laying in bed, or one of them they'd be like, next morning, oh my God, we thought of something. What if we try this or this? And it's like, oh, that is a good idea. And you're like writing down, we're drawing maps on paper. We need to know where we're going here, so we're going to draw a map. And I'm sure, it was always at their house, and I'm sure their parents would walk in and see us drawing maps of a video game. And they're just like,
go touch grass.
Yeah, go outside, you guys, please. In a minute. We're playing baseball in an hour, but we got to get this map finished. Just leave us alone.
Right.
Kids don't know how good they have it today. Let's see.
I know.
Bing, Neverwinter Nights 2 walkthrough. Oh, here it is. This is what I need to do. But, so it starts the real hunt begins, and, Jinwoo is like, am I powerful enough to take on this boss? We'll find out. And one of the things I loved about it is him like figuring out, hey, this weapon has paralyze and HP drain. So, I better take advantage of what I'm being offered. This thing has buffs and I need to use them. And that's how you do any game. It's like, oh, I found armor that is, lightning resistant.
Yeah.
I'm going to save that because if I run into someone shooting lightning at me, I'm going to need this. Or, a fire sword. I run into ice golems. I'll probably need this. So, I need to hang on to it. So it was good seeing him do that.
It's also like another big RPG thing where you're trying to gauge, okay, do I want to use this weapon that has a higher attack power, or do I want to use this one that has, some sort of elemental advantage towards the monster, maybe a slightly lower attack, but the bonuses that I'll stack on top of it. And so you got to like sit here and do the balancing act of, okay, which one is going to be better for this situation? What should I equip myself with for this particular battle?
Yep.
Unfortunately, in his case, he can't, die a couple of times and figure out he has to do this while he's in the middle of a battle.
Like we all do. We never die in video games. I've never fallen off a cliff. There's never been anything like that. So yeah, it's all good. But I was laughing at Jinho when he was freaking out about Jinwoo, and he's like, oh my God, I've heard about these people. They're false rankers. They have magic or whatever that hides what their true rank is. He's obviously one, and they're all lunatics, and they just like to kill people for the sake of killing people. And I'm like, oh my God, they captured a first raid hunter, I think, very well. Whoever wrote that was great because he's like freaking out. He's like such a good guy because, when they're like, when they come back, I should say, after, Jinwoo, but they're like, okay, you can either come out with us, kill him and come out with us, or we're going to kill you both. And he refuses. He probably thinks he can't beat him. But he seemed very honorable because, he was like, hey, the contract says he should get a share. He refuses to try to kill him, even though he's got the expensive armor and sword. But even the mercenaries were like, even if we can't get all that out of there, we can at least take that armor and the sword. That's going to be worth quite a bit. So it's almost like his dad's trying to help him, but he's really setting him up and making him a target.
I wonder if his dad realizes that.
That's a sub story that maybe they'll get into some point. I don't know if we see him again. I hope we see Jinho again because he seemed honorable, good character.
I will say that the very first time that I watched this, one thing that this teaches you pretty quickly, pretty early on from like the first couple of episodes, is that you can't trust who's going to stay alive and who's going to die. They're going to introduce you to these characters, and they may only be around for an episode or two because it is very dangerous being a hunter. And so I thought for sure, I'm like, okay, guy in big shiny armor. Well, this is the only episode we're going to see him in. He's going to be eaten by a monster or ripped in half or something. He's way too nice. Yeah, he's on his way out.
But it's funny because it's almost like in video games, it's just like hey, you got a mission to go there. Hey, there's a cave. I think I'll go in it because I want to XP and get some treasure, But in this, it's all very, this is a sea-level dungeon, so, you have to be, B level, or you have to have a certain amount of people, and they have to be this level, or you can't go in. It's almost like OSHA has taken over, like, Dungeons and Dragons here. It's like...
Well, essentially, the, what is it called? The Hunters Association. It's basically just a government organization that oversees all of these dungeons. It's the individual guilds that I think that act as, I guess, independent contractors. I really don't know another way to refer to them, but the guilds don't seem to be a part of the government, but they have to report to the Hunters Association.
Yeah, that seems right. Because we definitely, I forget the guild's names now, but,
Like the one that you were talking about, I believe that's White Tiger or White Tiger Fang or something.
Yes. I think, no, I'm not sure. It's one of those two.
I don't know.
It's White Tiger something.
Yeah, yes. And I have a bad memory, so I am so sorry. I've watched this already, and I don't remember half of the names of anything.
Well, I'm always
just
writing
tiny swords and
taking notes. I'm gonna need to remember that later, so I'm definitely writing it in Slack to myself, and I'll copy it into OneNote later on because otherwise, I'd be like, things happened. I don't remember, but I liked it.
But I liked it.
But as Jinwoo is fighting the boss, Jinho's like, oh my god, he's so fast and he's so good, and he even saves one of his full restores from one of the things he did before, which was pretty smart. I don't think he did it on purpose, but and he ends up being able to use a sword in the soft spot on the thing, which is an eyeball, and it paralyzes it. It ends up giving him hit points. It's kind of like a vampiric effect, and he ends up taking it down, which the mercenary gang come back through one of the top things, and they're like, oh, how did you guys kill that or whatever? And they of course think it's the shiny armor and sword kid. They're like, that must be really good stuff. So you kill him, and
because of
you
course
can get
it's
out.
not going to be the E rank guy. Everybody knows. In fact, they even comment before they go into the dungeon. Oh dude, it's this guy. Everyone knows him. He's the weakest hunter. Oh man, how's it going, man? Yeah, you're not going to be fighting. You suck.
You know what's funny too? I was thinking if they would have ended up fulfilling their plan, he was really the weakest hunter, and he got killed with them. That would almost be a news story in this world. Hey, the world's weakest hunter was killed today with this gang, and some
Right.
investigative reporter would be like, "That's weird. They have a lot of deaths with the two
Yeah,
people
they
they
start
bring
looking
in,
into
and
it. Yeah.
start figuring it out." But instead, once again, I didn't expect this. I love when they do weird. I shouldn't say weird stuff like this, but things like this when he's like,
They break the status quo.
they do break the status quo, and he gets a mission. You've got to kill these 6 guys trying to kill you. If you don't, your heart's going to stop.
Yes.
I do, because he doesn't really want to
the
kill other
system.
people.
Mm-hmm.
But
But it forces him, like, and I think the show kind of has to. Well, not just the show, but obviously I was corrected, by the way. It did not come from a manga. It comes from a manhwa because this is South Korean, not Japanese. And technically, I suppose this should be known as a webtoon, not an anime. But
so
Tomato,
webtoons
tomato,
for
I think.
beginners. Okay, got it.
but you learn something new. But anyway, they mention um, that the system is kind of like putting all of this on him, making him do this stuff, and I think it has to because otherwise he'll just kind of keep doing his own thing. But the system is what is pushing him to, not just level up by gaining levels, but actually move his thought process, his way of doing things to the next level.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. And it's making him do things he doesn't want to do because he's fine
Yeah.
killing monsters. He's not so fine killing other humans, but he does come to realize, hey, it's them or me, basically. So I kind of got
Right.
to do it. And man,
And
does
again, all
he-
those flashbacks that we saw, that kind of lets you in on like, hey, it's kill or be killed sometimes because again, no one is going to look into, no one can really look into any crimes that take place in these dungeons.
Yeah, there's no cameras. There's no way to know, just the word of the people who survived.
Kind of makes you wonder, like, how long before they start requiring hunters to wear body cams?
Yeah. Probably.
He shut his body cam off. All right. He's up to no good.
Well, because think about it. If they had body cams too, they could sell it. Sell the video footage on YouTube and everything else. I mean, there's a revenue stream they're missing out here. But of course,
Yeah.
they would have to do everything on the up and up.
True. It seems like a lot of people are not doing that.
No, it doesn't seem like it, yeah. But, he takes care of 5 of the 6 quickly. And the lead guy's like, okay, but he's got to be tired. He beat a boss and he beat 5 of my men, so, he doesn't know I've got this, power. He's like, power up. And, man, Jinwoo just takes him down and, like, cracks his head off the cement. One-handed. He's like, did he just shove me down with one hand? And it's like, hey, let's,
But you're an E rank.
he's like, listen, whatever, I'll pay you double or whatever. And he's like, 3 times. And I'm like, 3 times? He didn't want to draw attention to himself. Why would he be like, 3 times you've tried to kill? I was like, oh, he's not asking for 3 times the money. He's letting him know, you've tried to kill me 3 times. And now you want mercy?
Yeah.
Pop. I was like, okay, you see the video game kind of making him do this, but it doesn't seem like he hates it too much. Like, he was like, I don't want to kill humans like that. He was kind of hesitant, like, this isn't what I really want to do. It's, okay, killing monsters and mutants and this stuff, but this is a little different. But he does it quickly, and I don't know if that's because he just wants to get it over with, or if he kind of starts to like it a little bit. Like, he's enjoying his power.
Definitely.
Like, the power is going to corrupt him a little bit.
I was thinking the same thing, and I'm pretty sure that's on purpose. I think the system's goal is to corrupt him a little bit, because if you think about it, I mean, just look at 2 or 3 episodes ago where he looks completely different. He's shorter, he's skinnier, his voice even sounds different, like he's much more meek and passive, and oh, you're the worst hunter, you suck. Yeah, I sure am, guys. Oh, gee willikers. And like now, he's more confident in himself. And again, this is the system, I think, not only trying to, make him stronger, but change his thought process, change how he tackles day to day, how he deals with things, how he thinks about the world around him.
Well, and you even see it when he's talking to his sister in the one episode, like, oh, don't forget the umbrella. Oh, it's so heavy. Oh, just put it in there. You stop. It's not that heavy and stuff. And
you need to look up what heavy means.
Yeah. You like see him getting better in every aspect, which is obviously the stat points going everywhere. Because he did say at one point when you level up, he gets a stat point in everything, but when he does the daily missions, he gets stat points. He gets to choose where they go.
Yes.
So he can decide what he's going to be, and it's just. Oh, and then of course we already kind of talked about it, but they get out of the dungeon, and of course she's like, oh, the guy in the armor must have killed him. Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, good to go. Here's whatever you need. Just go on your way or whatever. I didn't know if they ended up getting a lot of those mana crystals out of it anywhere, but Jinwoo did get the essence or whatever it is.
Essence stone.
Yeah, yep.
That was the one what we were trying to think of. Yes, essence stone.
Out of the boss, so that's probably going to be worth a nickel or two. And it's good to see. It's funny because I was at first like, when I started watching these episodes, and at one point he's like, I just reached level 18. I'm like, God, he's leveling up too fast. But then I'm like, as much as I would enjoy a show that shows you, oh, he's fighting 700 monsters, and he just went up to level 3, and then he fought another 800 monsters. I'm like, the pacing of that show probably would put a lot of people off, and it probably wouldn't get high view. I would love it. I'd be like, yeah, all right, here we go. Level grinding. It's like every video, but I understand why they're doing it. So I'm looking forward to, we are like halfway through the first season now. And I'm like, man, I can't wait to see where this goes and see what the video game does. There's so many little aspects to things going on. Like his relationship with his sister, the guildmaster stuff. There's those girls who were talking that went in a level in a dungeon. And,
oh, yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I don't know who they are. And I know she was in an episode earlier and she had some mad skills. And maybe she's someone.
Oh, yeah, the
leveling.
parkour lady.
Yep. The one who doesn't have to break out of jail all the time. But,
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I don't even know their names. But I'm like, okay, that's someone to keep an eye on. I know they keep showing them. I know something's up. We got the guildmaster, them girls, the sister. Hopefully Jinho comes back. It's just been a lot of, this isn't the Penguin. Don't get me wrong. This is not like some just amazingly well written, acted, and all this stuff. But it is a very fun show.
Oh, yeah.
It has some tropey type stuff, but so good.
And, the more you watch anime, the more that's what it pretty much all is. It's meant to be fun. It's got a ton of tropes. In fact, most of them share tropes among other anime, like this whole idea of status screens and leveling up. Like, it's not new. They've been doing this in so many of them. And eventually, like, if you start getting into watching more and more, and you start watching the new shows that come out every season, you'll start to realize, wait a minute, that sounds like something I've already seen. And that's on purpose. They do it that way because they know, well, if they liked this, they're going to like this too.
And hey, as long as they got something unique or fun, and that's the whole thing. Not everything has to be.
But yeah, a lot of it is. It's just fun.
And that's what I get watching this. It's like, all right.
Unlike Lazarus.
This is the exact
Which was
opposite
not
of
fun.
Lazarus, which was, they do stuff, and it's funny because like I always want to understand better why like certain things bother me. Like we talked about it in our last stream when we were talking about Superman and Man of Steel, how I couldn't get past him breaking Zod's neck.
Oh yeah.
That's like so out of character to me. I can't get past it. Where other people thought it was great or whatever. It's not here to argue that. But like things in Lazarus, I'm sure there are people who watched it who it didn't bother.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
And I'm like,
It probably has its fans.
yeah, I'm like, God, what is that? Like, what is the thing for me that makes me like focus in on something and be bugged by it? Because this show could be doing weird stuff, and I'd still be like, man, get that sword out. Let's get them monsters. Oh, you're getting a new sword? Oh, yeah. Always love getting a new sword. Oh, man, I hope he gets some armor. I hope he finds a helmet with some powers. Oh, man, it would all be cool. And then...
You know what I think it might be? I think it's because it's not trying to be anything else, Like, Lazarus, I feel like, was almost promoting itself like this is the next Cowboy Bebop when it was never going to be that. But I don't think Solo Leveling is trying to be, the next Cowboy Bebop or the next Andor or the next Penguin or anything. It knows that it's just a fun little video game themed show, and that's all it's trying to be.
Yeah, you're probably right. They was just having a good time. They had some ideas. It was something where they had an idea and said, let's do it, instead of saying, we need an idea to do a show. What do you got? Let's do this. It's cool.
Well, like I said, most of these that I'd say other than Cowboy Bebop, pretty much everything that we've watched has been based off of some other media. It either came from a pre-existing, book or a story or something like that. I found this out recently. Apparently, Japan has this like weird fascination with the story Anne of Green Gables. I don't know if you've heard of it or not.
I have not.
It's an older story about like a prairie girl, like a Little House on the Prairie type story. And they have created it into an anime at least 5 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that they like. Oh, and they also like Wizard of Oz too. I found out. I've got like a lot of yeah. I just like I stumbled upon this stuff. I was scrolling through and I'm like, huh, another one. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, should we rate this show, good sir? Should we rate these episodes, I should say, not the show?
Yes, let's rate these episodes. Once again, I enjoyed them. It's not like, an edge of your seat, oh my gosh, I can't, but it's very fun. And it's not, I don't find myself picking up my phone, rewatching these. It's still just as enjoyable to me as it was the first time around. And now that I'm getting like a second round of watching them, I think I'm picking up on a little bit more than I did before. Like I'm noticing a few other things about the world around him, like, what he's seeing on his screen, how different aspects work, things that other people are saying that maybe I hadn't heard before. And overall, it's really, really fun. I am enjoying it. And I like the idea. I've watched a lot of these like fantasy anime where they have like some sort of video game element. But usually the way that they go about it is they send the person to a fantasy world. And so they're with like, kings and knights and monsters and dragons and everything like that. But what they're doing with this one is they brought the fantasy elements to the real world. And now they have to, in order to keep everything normal the way that it is, where, like, okay, I'm gonna, take the bus, go to work, go to school, whatever, they have to defend their world from all of these fantasy creatures. So instead of going to this fantasy, they're all trying to come in here. They're trying to stop it from happening. So they got to use the powers of the fingertips. So it is different in that way, and I do appreciate that. I appreciate the fact that they could have done what everything else is doing, but they decide we're going to reverse it. But yeah, I really enjoy the fact that you get to watch him gradually, change and evolve in a way as he's leveling up. He doesn't seem to realize that these stats are doing much of anything. He comments as much when he goes like, "Oh well, it's no big deal. It's the only stat that seems to be affected is my strength." And it's like you watch him, as you pointed out, Keith, he gives the umbrella to his sister, and you can tell that he's analyzing things more clearly. He's thinking things through. And when he's in the dungeon and he starts picking up on, he's like noticing, I think they're coming up from above us. And, I'm noticing something is off about this group. So his intelligence is up, his analytical skills are going up. Everything about him is improving, and we'll find out that the system is doing this. We'll find out later on the system is doing that for a reason. So all these little hints and nods that they're putting in here that I'm picking up on again, that I guess I didn't realize before, I like that. And I think this is doing a great job. I got to give it an easy 7.5 out of 10. It's just fun. You guys got to watch it if you haven't watched it already.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that's like watching this show is just a joy. It's not anything overly complicated, but it's fun. It's things, especially for me and you being video gamers, seeing this stuff go on, and I'm just like, oh, what are they going to do next? Are they going to find equipment? Because that's always a joy for me in any role playing game I play. I love playing D&D games and any role playing game. It's like, ooh, equipment. Is it magical? Does it have some effect? Ooh, what's it going to do? And it's like Fallout, just scavenging for stuff. And they don't do it much in here, but even seeing him like pull the sword out of his inventory in that first dungeon, I was like, all right. And you're right. I don't find myself looking at my phone at all. I just sit back and I enjoy these for what they are. It's not overly complex. It's just good fun. Characters. I think that's the thing too. And I like the main character. Like we said, he's a little oblivious to the nurses kind of hitting on him. And he's, doing this because his mom is sick and all this stuff. He's just a good character. He's just a good kid. And you're almost starting to see this power might be corrupting him a bit, which is an age-old story. Once again, it doesn't have to be anything new and epic. If they do it well, we're all good with it. And I think that's what this is doing. Everything about it, I like the fight choreography. I mean, it's like, jumping and spinning and doing all the things. They're taking it to, the next level. It's not just, sword, sword, sword. And it's just fun to watch. The animation is great. The choreography is great. I don't know what else to say. It's just a good, fun show. I'm going to give it a 7.8 out of 10. I'm loving it. Once again, if anyone hasn't watched it and you like anime and you like video games, you should definitely check it out because it is worth your time.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Now, I don't
what do you
have
got for us?
Nothing. There is
What?
almost. I've been trying to dig up some rumors and stuff, but I think with San Diego Comic-Con coming up, not this weekend but the next, everything is getting pulled back, so we don't have too many.
Aren't you
news and
excited about Mortal Kombat 2?
rumors.
Only in theaters?
I did watch the trailer.
I did too. I was like, oh, that is not going to do well. It looks so bad.
With what's his name?
Johnny Cage.
Yeah, but Carl Urban.
You
watch him, and I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna use a youthful vernacular term now, but so cringe.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, I hope you got a huge payday, because this is probably going to haunt you for a long time that you did this movie. Oh.
I was reading some of the comments on that trailer. People were talking about like all the other roles that he's playing. People are like saying, the new Dredd looks weird. Man, what happened to Butcher?
I almost forgot. I don't know if you saw this today. This did come out. A new Judge Dredd movie is coming out.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Would you like to know who is doing it?
Who?
Taika Waititi.
Huh.
I don't think that's a good fit. Don't get me wrong. I like Taika Waititi. I didn't like Thor: Love and Thunder too much. I mean, it was okay. It had its moments. The theme was all over the place. I liked Ragnarok. The one soccer movie he did with Magneto, I thought was good too. He's done some really good stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know if this fits for him.
I mean, what are they like really leaning into the goofy aspect of it? Because I think that might be the wrong direction to go. And like normally I wouldn't say that, but I mean, I keep thinking back to how good Dredd 3D was. Did you ever see that?
I did.
Okay. Excellent film. Really well done. And I know that it didn't do well in theaters, and that's a shame because I remember the response after the fact, people watching it on home video, and they're like, "Oh, this is actually really good." And you know, the guy playing oh my God, what is his name? We were just talking about him, Butcher.
Carl Urban.
Carl Urban, thank you. Got a lot of praise for the way that he was able to act and show emotion while under a helmet the entire time. And people were saying, my gosh, that is one hell of an actor. And, they were even asking him, I guess throughout the production, do you want any scenes where you show your face? No, I read the comic. He read the comics. He understood the character, and it was a really well done movie. So I don't know if this, what you're talking about, this, if it's going to be a reboot and they're doing it again, or if it's a sequel or what's going on. But I don't know if his type of directing style is what Dredd needs. I'm not sure.
Unless I agree with you 100%. Once again, Taika Waititi can do some things I'd be happy with. Dredd is like one of those things that's almost Punisher-esque. It's got to be kind of darker and brutal and things like that. And maybe he's going to do it. And maybe he's like going to show, hey, I don't have to be silly all the time. I was trying to do something. I thought it was good. And it's going to go a different way. But, man, I saw that today and I was like, that is not what I was expecting. If you told me there was a Dredd reboot and you said guess the director, I would have never gotten to Taika Waititi.
Did you see the recent interview with James Gunn, speaking of styles?
I might have.
I want to say it was a Rolling Stone. I'm not entirely positive, but it came up. He was, talking about some of the next movies that were going to be coming out, and they had asked him, what do you think about Batman? When are we expecting Batman? And what do you think the costume will look like? And he came out and he said, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. We're not really ready for Batman. He says, we're not quite there yet. He says, what I can tell you is Supergirl is going to be amazing. He says, that one's going to be the next one. He says, then we've got Clayface, and then we've got Lanterns. He says, and just so everybody knows, Clayface isn't even going to be what you expect either. He says, that's going to be a horror film. And the guy looked at him and said, what do you mean it's going to be a horror film? Like, you're not keeping the tone consistent? He says, no. He says, we're not going to have like a DC branded tone. He says, I want to leave it up to the creators to have their own sort of tone for each movie, depending on what the requirement is of the characters. He says Superman is going to be more light and colorful and hopeful. He says, but Clayface is going to be a horror film. And he says, and that's how each of these are going to be. And he says, and that's on purpose. He says, look at the comics. And then he pointed out to, the stack of comics that they had displayed. He goes, even these. He says, all these comics have their own different tones, depending on who the artist is, who the writer is. And I could not agree more. I'm so glad that he pointed that out. I'm glad that James Gunn said that because it's so true. We got, I think, so used to there being just the Marvel style that every Marvel movie in the MCU kind of had to fit that same sort of style that we forgot that you can have a universe, a connected universe, and everything can kind of have its own tone. Think about the Netflix shows where Jessica Jones definitely did not feel like Punisher, which did not feel like Daredevil.
Hopefully, it continues to work for DC and maybe Marvel. Even though, Daredevil was definitely not your typical Marvel production.
Right.
So
it wasn't after they did the reshoots.
Yes, we have no idea what it was before.
I'm going to assume that it was probably, if the one bank heist episode had anything to, not bank heist, bank robbery episode, that has anything to say from, I think that was an episode that was still from the original.
That was the only episode that was complete the same post creative overhaul.
If that's what the other episodes were like, yeah, very much a Marvel show.
That's a good point. Yeah, they definitely did the right thing. And I can't, the Punisher is filming right now, the Punisher special presentation. I definitely do not want that to be like your typical Marvel thing. It's got to be like the Netflix show. And I think that, I hope they learn their lesson. I hope they do the right thing and realize that. But, what's his name? John Barenthal co-wrote this thing. So
good.
I think we're going to be good. And I've seen conflicting reports, too, on when it's coming out. Some people have it say it's coming out before Daredevil season 2, which is weird because Daredevil season 2 already finished filming, and Punisher is just starting. But you also got 9 episodes for Daredevil, and it's only a special presentation, however long that is for Punisher. So they could, but I've seen the majority of people saying it'll come out after Daredevil season 2, because I'm assuming he's going to be a part of, Matt's army that he's gathering to take on Kingpin. Now, otherwise, that's a waste, but
right.
We'll see. It could even take place between, because he could be doing other things before Matt comes a calling, needing him. But can't wait for that.
Same. Oh, it's going to be good. I can't wait. Can you imagine if he didn't have any, if he wasn't helping write it? All of a sudden he's going to read the script. Why am I saying so many quips?
We're getting these quips out of here now.
What is this? You've been punished? I wouldn't say that.
I hope he has some comment to Spider-Man in Spider-Man Brand New Day where he's like, what's with all the quipping, kid? I'm nervous and I just quip to help me deal with it.
It reminds me of Civil War when he's like, usually there's not this much talking during a fight, kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just...
It's my first time.
Well, man, should we find somebody to raid, sir?
I think we should. So let's see, who do we got going on over here? Let's see, we've got Laura Dreaming is on. T-Pain is playing The Sims. No kidding.
Oh, that's funny. I'm a fairy now. EA The Sims.
Yeah. So, do you want to do either Graduating or Laura Dreaming?
Oh, Laura Loopsy's on there.
Oh, I don't see her.
See, I don't see Laura Dreaming.
You might need to refresh.
Oh yeah.
Because I noticed Laura Loopsy was on when I first joined, but I think she's done by now.
Yeah, well, let's do Laura Dreaming, since pretty sure she's on.
And for everybody out there that is wondering, what are you nerds doing? What are you even talking about? Raiding? What are you, a bunch of Vikings? No. Just a little something we can do on Twitch. It allows us to take everybody who is watching us over on Twitch, head over to another channel that we like, just another friend of Not Your Status Quo, and go hang out and show our support. Other people have raided us in the past, and we like to pass it on, share the love. So, for those of you that are watching us out there on YouTube, we want to thank you very much for joining us. If you want to show us a little bit of love out in YouTube land, make sure that you hit that like, subscribe to our channel if you aren't already. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps us out. It helps YouTube realize that, hey, maybe they need, more than a couple hundred subscribers. Maybe we should push their videos out a little bit more. So, make sure that you like us, subscribe to us, ring the bell if you want to be notified of any other videos. And of course, as always, this is most important, we want to hear from you. So comment down below. And as always, we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo. Hey fellow nerds, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of this stuff, make sure that you check out our Twitch stream. We try to do these live Sunday or Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when you can join in live and chat with us during these live streams. Also, as usual, don't forget to check out our other social media. Add us at Twitter, comment down below, and we'll see you next time right here on Not Your Status Quo.